decisive lead by 3 goals to 2. Nikita Paris buries it, 3-3.
Fires it into Paris, and Stanway, oh, what a tremendous goal! Here comes the corner, oh, and it's in. England concede from another set piece.
It's good full-back play, and it's in. Well, they've scored with their first big chance of the game. Here's Beatrice, and he comes to the Benya, and it's 2!
Oh, the goalkeeper's lost it, and a gift for Beth Mead.
With the cross in, oh, it's in the back of the net, Germany lead. Good cross in, and then wide, brilliant finish. Blair stays down. Here's Buell on the outside, and scores. Germany have won it. Questions again to be answered.
There hasn't been much to shout about for the Lionesses since their return from the World Cup this summer. Just 1 win in 5 friendlies does not make happy reading for Phil Neville, but they've got one last chance to end the year on a high. Their final game of 2019 is in the Czech Republic tonight. Good evening. With me in the studio tonight, 2 former Lionesses, and Sue Smith and Laura Bassett. And Sue, Phil said after the game against Germany on Saturday that the results haven't been good enough. It's a bit of an understatement, really, isn't it, since the World Cup?
Well, it is. It's a real poor run of form. I think the fact that they've won 1 in 7. And I think straight after the World Cup, you can say it's a hangover. So the first couple of games, you can give them that because it does take a little bit out of you psychologically, physically. But now the performances have to be better. And it's not just the results, it is the performances. And I suppose it's the manager's responsibility. It's also the players' responsibility on the field because they haven't been living up to we know how... They've set a bar, haven't they? They've set a bar in the World Cup. That's the standard that they can perform at. And they've not done that since the World Cup, and it needs to be better. This is a must-win game tonight. Yeah, it is a chance as well to end the year on a high. 5 changes from the team that started on Saturday against the Czech Republic side that they've never qualified for a major tournament before. This should be one, like Sue says, it's must-win, but this should be one that should be comfortable for England tonight.
Yeah, it should be, but we all know that football doesn't work like that. But like you say, with the changes becomes new impetus, a bit more enthusiasm, different kind of energy, different relationships. So we are going to see a different England team tonight. But like you say, that there should really be no problems tonight. It is a must-win game.
Yeah, and it was a disappointing result on Saturday, but you had a nice day at Wembley, special day with the family.
Yeah, that's right. It was amazing. The FA honoured mine, Claire Rafferty's and Kaz Carney's contribution. We retired this year, so it was brilliant to be given a shirt prior to the game with all our friends and family there. So yeah, we did get soaked. You can tell we're not Mary Poppins with the umbrellas. But yeah, it was a really, really special day.
Yeah, under the umbrellas, a difficult day in terms of weather. It looks a little bit better out in the Czech Republic. I think there's a little bit of rain out there. But let's hear from the manager ahead of this game. Phil Neville wants to end the year on a high. He's been speaking to Tom Gary.
Good evening, Phil. Thanks for speaking to us. Can you talk us through the 5 changes tonight? And for the players that are coming into the side, how much of a chance is it for them to impress?
It's a big chance. We were always going to play a keeper in each game. I think Carly hasn't been playing that much for Chelsea, but we thought that it was her time to get out there and play. Steph was always going to be rested for this game tonight, so Millie, who's been one of our best centre backs for the last 2 or 3 seasons, comes back in, gets to Leah Williamson, who I think has been one of our best players over the last 4 or 5 games. Ellen White was never going to come to Czech because of a return to play, so it's a good chance for Beth England to stake a claim for the number 9 jersey. And Lucy Staniforth, who I thought played really well in Portugal. So yeah, 5 changes, and hopefully we get a performance that I thought we didn't get on Saturday.
Well, I know you've said yourself that the recent form hasn't been good enough, so what are you hoping to see from your side tonight?
I want to see performance. I want to see us playing like people are talking about us for the last 12 months about one of the best teams in world football. We haven't played like that for the last 5 or 6 games, and tonight is about going out there and delivering. We've kept things really simple. We've not overcomplicated things. We've left the players under no illusions about what's expected tonight, and I expect us to go out there and perform to the best of our ability and to be ruthless in everything that we do.
He talks about being ruthless. We should probably talk about penalties. Being ruthless from the penalty spot hasn't really happened. Nikita Paris, we believe, has been taken off penalties. She's missed 3 of her last 4. Who takes the penalties tonight and going forward? And why has it been such a problem?
I was going to say, that's a really good question, and that is the problem. We don't seem to have a penalty taker or somebody that wants to step up and take the penalty. So maybe Nikita Paris did, but the fact that she has consistently been missing penalties, I think that's right from Phil Neville to take the responsibility away from her. But usually it's a striker. So usually the striker wants to take penalties because they want to score more goals. But if Ellen White doesn't want to take penalties, if she's not comfortable taking penalties, then it has to be somebody else.
Is it a mentality thing? You know, I mean, does it show that there's perhaps not a strong enough character within that squad to step up when the pressure's on and take a penalty?
I wouldn't say strong enough characters, because I think we've definitely got characters in the team, because if, for example, we would have gone to a penalty shootout in the World Cup, I definitely think there would have been players that just step up and willing to take that responsibility. But I just think that, you know, whatever it is, it needs to be ironed out and communicated within the group. Maybe they have a different strategy, maybe they have communicated about it, but we're certainly not seeing that as fans and from the outside.
Yeah, that's one of the issues at one end. But on the other end, Sue, you're still seeing issues defensively as well. And I think we saw at the weekend too many crosses coming into the box.
Yeah, and that's been the problem. It's the fact that it's the same defensive mistake. So, you know, 9 of England's 13 goals, they've been conceded from crosses or corners. And it's the fact that we haven't really looked at that and changed that. It's still happening. And you look at Germany's approach, and to me that suggested that they seen a weakness in England's back line, and they exploited it from the first minute. Get the ball out wide. There was no pressure on the cross. Delivery into the box. Alex Popp, that's her strength. You know, she's so good in the air, yet we didn't have anybody stopping that. So that's something that needs to be addressed.
I think what's really disappointed is we've come from eras under Mark Sampson and Hope Powell where we've been so defensively strong and organised, and when we've got defensive shape, we dictate to the opposition. But it just seems like, for example, on Saturday against Germany, they were always, when they were going forward, they were dictating to us. And that's a big defensive frailty that we haven't had under previous managers.
Right, I'm just seeing some pictures behind us here. I think I said it was looking better here than it did on Saturday. It's definitely not. We were fooled in the previous pictures. Just going back to tonight's game, the last game, obviously, of 2019, and Phil said after the game on Saturday that perhaps they need a little break from each other. It has been a full-on 6 months, really, in the build-up to the World Cup. But what do you think he means by that?
I just think at this time of year, towards the back end of the year, camps come around so thick and fast, and it feels like you're having the same conversations, you're doing the same thing. When you're on camp, you're in a bubble, you're having the same regimented schedule day in, day out. So it's just a freshness, a mental break, and kind of everyone goes back, reflects, has a big reflection section, and comes back in 2020 with, you know, with a revived passion.
Yeah, I think sometimes just getting out of that football bubble, spending time with your family, doing things outside of football, and just refreshing yourself. You think, have a really good performance, a really good win in this game, and then it's moved forward to next year. Yeah,
how tough will this game be? Because after everything that surrounded Saturday, the huge crowds at Wembley, is it going to be difficult to mentally get up for this one, particularly on a wet night?
Definitely not. You know, you're playing for your country, so 100% those girls will be up for it. They'll want to finish on a high. They have to finish on a high. They have to dominate this game, which they can do. They're very capable of. And they want to put they've had a lot of criticism, so they'll want to put all of that right.
Yeah, they will indeed. At half-time of this match, we will hear as well from the best player in the world, Megan Rapinoe. But for now, sit back and enjoy the final Lionesses match of 2019 in the company of Casey Stoney and Robin Cowan.
Thank you, Ailey. Yes, good evening, everyone. Welcome to a very wet and rainy Ceske Budejovice. It is England's final game of an eventful 2019. Can they end it with a win? We'll find out after the national anthems.
Ženského fotbalu Fotbalová asociace České republiky, a to pana Martina Dobrého a pana Zdeňka Mužíka. Před dnešním zápasem utkáním se totiž budeme loučit, a to s dlouholetou podporou českého národního týmu, která dnes ukončila svoji reprezentační kariéru. Do národního dresu nastoupila 53 utkání a zaznamenala 17 reprezentačních gólů. Dámy a pánové, Petra Divičová! Petra Divičová přebírá symbolický reprezentační dres, kde má zvětšení počet reprezentačních zápasů také v starším domu a mimo jiné také velkou národní tisy. Ladies and gentlemen, Petra Divičová has ended his national team career with 53 stars.
Before we hear the national anthems, it's a ceremony for Petra Divisova, 35-year-old who has just retired from the Czech Republic international team and is being honoured here on the pitch before kick-off. We saw similar with our very own Laura Bassett and many others on the pitch at Wembley at the weekend.
A nyní, dámy a pánové, prosím, poslechněte, zazní státní hymny Anglie a České republiky. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome for the national anthem of England and the Czech Republic.
These England players will be desperate to end with a victory. The calendar year is petering out somewhat, a year that has seen ups, mainly downs towards the end of it. They certainly should win this one against the Czech Republic. 23 places below England in the FIFA rankings. They've never reached a major tournament. With the form England are in right now, they may just fancy their chances. Eva Augustin is the referee at a fairly sparse stadium, the Stadion Strzelecki Ostrov. And this is the England team. 4 withdrawals following the game against Germany. Steph Houghton, Alex Greenwood, Alan White and Jodie Taylor have all left the camp, so 5 changes to the side that were beaten at Wembley. Carly Telford starts in goal. Millie Bright and Demi Stokes come into the defence. Lucy Staniforth is in for Jordan Nobbs, and Beth England gets just her second start in an England shirt. The Czech Republic have been in European qualifying action. They beat Azerbaijan 4-0 on Thursday night. Only one change from that side. Andrea Jakovska is in for the Kamila Dubitsova, and a possible change of formation, a back 3 to a back 4 as well. Lucy Bronze is captaining England in the absence of Steph Houghton this evening. And the Czech Republic captain there, the number 9, Lucy Vonkova, striker, which England will have to keep an eye on. Plays her club football for Ajax and has scored in all 3 European qualifiers so far. And Casey Stoney, Phil Neville has been the talk of the town, hasn't he, coming into this game and for the last few months, really, from an England perspective. Difficult, lots of views on Phil Neville. He did come out and took full responsibility for their recent form after that Wembley game.
Yeah, and I think it was the right thing to do, to come out and be honest, to accept responsibility, and also to accept that they haven't been performing well and they haven't been playing well, because the players will know that. They're the first people to say it's not good enough, and he'll be looking at them, how he can improve them as a coach and how he can improve this squad. So yes, I think this is an important game tonight in terms of performance, and I also think the break from international football now is important for them too.
He's mentioned that as well in his pre-match build-up, Phil Neville, that they do need a break from each other, and that will come in 90 minutes' time after they play the final game of 2019. And if it's one that they don't get a win from, even more questions will be asked of the squad and, of course, the England manager, who is contracted until the end of the Euros 2021. He will lead Team GB as well. And the performances, Casey, just simply have to get better. I think Emma Hayes said on the radio that it's not, she doesn't see a lack of effort, but it's the sameness of the performances.
Yeah, it's been a lack of quality, been sloppy in possession and defensively poor. Conceded an awful lot from crosses and don't seem to be solving that. You know, and listen, they wouldn't have wanted to go out at Wembley and perform like that on Saturday in front of that crowd, but unfortunately they just never got going.
Can they get going here now? Lucy Staniforth wins the throw. Closed down very quickly there. The Birmingham midfielder in the number 10 position. Early cross in. It's going to be defended by the Czech Republic. It's Svitkova who gets it out over to that far side. And we will expect England to have the lion's share of possession in this game. Their only win in their last 7 has been away from home, and that was against Portugal. A lucky win, really, because it was gifted to them, and that is not a good start, really, from the back line.
I hope it's not a sign of things to come. Really sloppy in possession again. Technical errors under no pressure. You know, they've got to be better, got to look after that football. If they look after the ball, they can control the game and build themselves into it, get some momentum, and get them higher up the pitch.
Chance from the cross. And it's over the top, and goodness me, England still can't defend crosses. It came in way too easily there, and it's Staskova who should have put the Czech Republic ahead.
The Czech should be in front then, again, not locking on in the box. Too easy to get the ball in. She's unmarked on the 6-yard line. She's got to hit the target there, and England have got to do something about defending crosses better.
Andrea Staskova got her move to Juventus in the summer. Such a dangerous centre-forward. Space here, though, for Mead. And now Demi Stokes skips away from the challenge. The Czech Republic players claim that it did creep out of play. Instead, it will be an England throw. Demi Stokes getting her chance after a few games off. She didn't participate in the last camp through injury. Flicked forward by Scots and held by the goalkeeper, Barbara Vitakova. If you want to hear more about her, great article on the BBC Sport website. She's a YouTuber as well, over 76 million views on her channel.
Oh, woman of many talents.
Indeed. Mead battling for it and losing out to Bertoldover. It's good play by Martin Kova. That's beautifully played by the Czech Republic. Sontagova. That is cut out, and Jill Scott will get there. first time in a very long time the back line doesn't feature Steph Horton. He's getting a well-earned rest.
Yeah.
Playing every single minute for club and country recently.
I think it's a really sensible choice by both Steph and Phil to leave her out of this one. I think she's played a lot of games in a short space of time and she'll need that rest, and I'm sure Man City are very thankful that she's not there tonight.
Martinkova, 91 caps for the Czech Republic, very experienced as well. They are hoping that they will get to their first ever major tournament. Qualifying has started pretty well for them. 2 wins out of 3, just the defeat to Spain. If they can come second, either qualify or get a playoff. Lovely first touch by Mead. Jill Scott threads it through to Beth England, who is offside. Nice bit of play though.
I think that's going to be the key to England's success today. If they can keep a bit of width, if you look at the back 4 of the Czech Republic, they want to stay compact. So if the wide players can play on the outside shoulder of them, they'll get a lot of joy getting down the sides and then in behind.
A lot of admirers for Beth England. The last couple of seasons she has shone for Chelsea. Top scorer last season. She started this one well. 5 goals in all competitions. Here's Leah Williamson. Mead tries to find Stokes. She'll try again. Jill Scott is dispossessed, and the Czech Republic have options here. Spread to the near side to Staskova, who had that early opportunity. Back to Vonkova now. With the shot, over the bar.
She's done well there because she shifted it nicely inside, opened the goal up on her left foot. She's just got to hit the target.
Promising build-up once again from the Czech Republic.
Yeah, definitely. I think England are trying to have too much time on the ball. They need to limit their touches, shift the ball quickly, get the ball speed a little bit quicker, and start moving this Czech team around a little bit more.
Most of the Czech Republic squad do play domestically, but quite a few have made the move to Europe. Once again, the offside flag is up. Beth Mead doesn't agree.
I have to say, I know we've only played 7 minutes, but actually the Czech Republic have looked a little bit more threatening than England have in this early period.
Well, it's not a big crowd, but listening and reading a few of the interviews in the build-up, they were all very excited about facing England. So you're going to raise your game.
Yeah, absolutely. You're a country like Czech Republic. You have less players playing. You have less resources. Most of your players are probably part-time, so you come and play against players that are, you know, semi-finalists of a World Cup, have been involved in major championships. They're a scalp. You know, you want to raise your game. You want to, and also, as a player, you've got a window here to show your talent, and potentially you don't know who's going to be watching.
3 players in Italy now, quite a few in Germany and 1 in Holland as well. And that is another point that was made, that England have improved, but so has everyone else.
Yes, absolutely, and those margins are getting smaller every year, and that's why, you know, this World Cup this year was one of the most competitive I've ever seen.
Throw to England. Kira Walsh. Now Millie Bright. Williamson finds her Arsenal teammate Beth Mead, and now Demi Stokes. England being patient. In front of a very disciplined looking Czech Republic side. Staniforth. Tried to play it in towards Nikita Paris. Pretty grim conditions in the Czech Republic, but they would have had a bit of training for that at Wembley on Saturday night.
Yeah, it was
too
cold.
dissimilar, was it?
It was cold, wet and miserable, pretty much like it is tonight. But then this is when you see the characters. This is when you see who really wants to pull on an England shirt and get out there and perform. No matter the crowd, no matter the conditions, they want to go out there and they've got that winning mentality.
Again, those passes not quite finding the intended targets. Sontakova. Now Sahinova. Throw into the home side. There will be familiar faces between the two sides as well, because Slavia Prague did recently play Arsenal in the Champions League last 16. Safe to say a very comfortable win over both legs for Arsenal, 5-2 and then 8-0. Staniforth, nice turn. Beth Mead trying to get there. Oh, Czech Republic can come forward. That's a lovely pass. Staskova goes for goal. Not far away. She's been a threat. She's looked it already.
It's a great run in behind the back shoulder of Millie Bright and a great through ball with the right weight. No beating the back line. She gets onto it. I think if she hits the target there, they give them a problem because the Czech Republic number 9's following in.
That goal mouth is already looking a bit sticky. Carly Telford. Phil Neville was spot on. She hasn't played a lot for Chelsea, just 3 Continental Cup games so far. England lose it once again. And here is the dangerous Staskova. Jakowska. Back to Sahinova. Staskova delivers. That's a good header away by Lucy Bronze.
It's well defended by England there, but Kira Walsh in possession is again still wanting too many touches and a bit too long on the ball. And the Czech team are getting around her, pressing, and she's turning the ball over too easy.
Mead. Scott's up there, so is Beth England. She's kept it alive. Paris. Her shot is well defended by Sontakova. And that effort well wide.
I think Kira's just saying to Beth Mead there, come and get the ball, I need your feet. So I think what they're trying to do is get in behind, but sometimes when you've got tight pressure, you need closer connections around the ball. So I think Kira's just giving Beth information there to, come on, come and connect with me so I can find you.
Czech shirt first to it once again. Andrea Staskova. Now Sahinova. Czech Republic number 4, Petra Bertoldova, was actually sent off against Azerbaijan, 2 yellows, but obviously not suspended tonight. Svitkova, number 10's got an excellent scoring record for the Czech Republic. 17 goals in now 35 appearances. Late lunge on Nikita Paris by Shevyetkova.
I've been really impressed with Staskova's back-to-goal play, the way she's retaining possession, 3 England players around her. She doesn't panic, she keeps it. She keeps the ball, she lends it back and she moves again. So in terms of what she can be effective for this Czech team, it's brilliant because they're not going to have a lot of the ball. So when it does go into her, she's going to need to make it stick. She's doing that really well.
That's good play between Stokes and Beth Mead. Mead delivers. It was a dangerous one, and again, really well defended, this time by Sedlakova. It's going to be an England corner kick. Good run by Beth England. It's in the right place. Staniforth to deliver. Taken short, Paris. Staniforth is offside.
It's a bit of a wasted opportunity, but also well defended by the Czechs. They've noticed she's getting a setback, and they've moved their line out really well.
So frustrating from an England point of view.
Yeah, really frustrating, because it's a great opportunity to get yourself in the box, the ball in the box, and potentially Nikita Paris could have been brave and got turned on the ball there in the box.
It's fallen luckily for Lucy Vonkova. Now Svitkova. That's a lovely pass. Could this be 1-0? It is! Great move by the Czech Republic.
I have to say, that is great play. A run from out to in from the wide player, through ball, perfectly weighted, and a good finish. But you have to ask questions of this England team. You really do at the moment. No pressure on the ball. Great run, played onside, and a good finish.
Teresa Shevchikova, 21 years old. What a composed finish for such a young player.
And what a moment in her career to score against England, 5th best team in the world. Great run, great ball, and I have to say they're worthy of their lead at the moment based on the chances they've had.
Can't really argue with that. England have looked sluggish, as they have done pretty much since the World Cup ended, or you could even argue before. Good performance against the USA. They didn't put it in the third place playoff against Sweden, and ever since then they just haven't recovered. This is turning into the mother of all hangovers. You mentioned character, Casey.
Yeah, they're going to need to show some now. They really are. I'm sorry, but I'm not buying hangover anymore. And what Phil said in the press, it can't be that anymore. They've got to move on. They've got to start performing.
England dispossessed. Bit of a heavy touch. Showed a bit too much of that. Here comes Martin Kova. Good play by Kira Walsh, who shielded the ball well.
I think if you take the Germany game in isolation, I don't think anybody would criticise Phil for losing against Germany. I really don't think so, because they are the 2nd best team in the world for a reason. It's the results before that then put the pressure onto that Germany game and them having to win.
Paris has done well. Oh, it's Beth England. 1-1. That is very good from England. Nikita Paris, I thought she had given herself way too much to do with a heavy touch, and that's a really good instinctive finish from Beth England to draw them level.
And do you know what? The response, the exact response Phil would have wanted. Go down the other end. Nikita's touch is heavy there, but Nikita is so quick. It's a good cutback and a great instinctive finish, and it's 1-1. And hopefully this gives this England team some confidence now. Build on it, go and win this game and win it comfortably. Get the ball moving, use it well, and enjoy the ball a little bit more.
Beth England's 2nd goal for her country on her 5th appearance. She's certainly delivering. Her first goal came as a mere consolation against Brazil, and she won't want that today. Good desire shown by Nikita Paris. Mead. Dispossessed by Lucy Vonkova. Williamson. And now Walsh. See what Jill Scott was trying to do, didn't quite reach Lucy Staniforth, and now maybe the Czech Republic can break with Martin Kova. Too much on that for the goal scorer, Shevchikova.
I think what you can say about this Czech Republic team is they're not going to give you anything. They're going to work hard to get back behind the ball. They're going to put pressure on you. They're going to try and stifle you, and they've done that really well so far.
Does mean it's now only 1 clean sheet in 8 games for England.
I think it's a worrying stat. I really do. I think, you know, obviously if they're going to win major tournaments, the teams that tend to win major tournaments don't tend to concede a lot of goals.
Stanley fourth. Good movement. Lovely touch by Mead, and that's a great goal. England ahead for the first time in the game, and that is a strike of real quality from Beth Mead.
Fantastic finish by Beth Mead there. Takes it on her right foot, opens up the whole goal, sees where the keeper is planted on a near post, and just shapes it into that far corner. It's a great finish.
She scored the winner against Portugal in their last victory away from home, and she's put England ahead. Good response after going behind.
Yeah, I think Phil would be really impressed with the character shown here in terms of that response. It'd be really pleasing for him on the sideline.
Because you could end up feeling sorry for yourself, couldn't you? Nothing is going our way.
Yeah, and I think they haven't done that. They've got back on the ball, they've played forward, they've created chances, and very clinical in both times.
Talking to Eva Augustin, the referee, by Beth Mead, just a little bit too physical.
I don't mind that though. I don't mind that. A little bit of fight, a little bit of desire, trying to stop the opposition getting on the ball.
Williamson gets the decision. It all started so well for Karol Rada, Czech Republic manager. I think she was slightly fortunate that she got that decision near Williamson, because if she hadn't, the Czech Republic would have been in once again.
I think she shouted loud enough that the referee had no choice, to be honest. And I don't think it was intentional. I think she's just run past her and caught with her arm.
England showing a bit more fluidity now. Sontigova. See, it's still coming down very heavily, but the pitch looks okay at the moment.
Yeah, it's holding up. I wouldn't want to be in Carly Telford's goalmouth. That looks a little bit wet, but all over the pitch it does look okay. The ball speed looks really slow though, so I'm wondering if there's more water on the pitch than we can see, because otherwise I'd like to think England would be shifting that ball around a lot quicker.
It's going to be a throw to England. Here's Lucy Bronze. Millie Bright wanting some options. Mead's seen a lot of the ball down the right-hand side, the left-hand side rather.
And I think that diagonal switch from centre-back to wide player seems to be quite effective, because the Czech Republic defence slide over and they almost leave Beth Mead. So just getting it out there quickly and potentially getting a run beyond, they could get in behind.
Mead. Here's Paris. Charged down by Sontigova. There's going to be an England corner kick. We do understand Nikita Paris is now off penalties after missing once again against Germany at Wembley. She spoke very well afterwards, admitting that it wasn't good enough and that she understood if that was the decision, and it has been. Midway through the first half. It's a deep delivery towards Millie Bright. Lost the flight of the ball. Stokes in for the injured Alex Greenwood. A slight ankle knock. Bronze. Williamson. Kira Walsh. Too much on that for Nikita Paris.
It was a difficult ball, that. There wasn't an awful lot of space to play in behind to. I think if Nikita can keep a little bit more width, same as Beth Mead is on the opposite side, you stretch their back four a little bit more and you can get the gaps in between then. Create 1v1s against their fullbacks, because both Beth Mead and Nikita Paris are both good in 1v1s.
Paris. She insisted it was a corner.
I think that looked like a corner to me, and the fact that the defender went straight back into a defensive position should tell the referee it is. She's made the right decision in the end.
Sleet, snow, goodness me.
It looks cold.
We saw a shot on the bench, didn't we, ahead of kick-off in their blankets. Here comes the cross, eventually it's England, and Millie Bright hits the bar and goes over the top. So close to extending their advantage, and Millie Bright close to getting her first England goal.
Yeah, it's just come off the surface a bit quick and she hasn't quite been able to get there. Again, another short corner, working quite effectively for England.
First be running about or sat on the bench?
Oh, definitely running about. If I was sat on the bench, I'd want a hot water ball and a heated blanket.
Jill Scott penalised.
I'm not entirely sure the free kick should have gone that way, to be honest.
Bertoldova's delivery is left for the goal scorer. Oh, it's another great strike! Shevchikova has beaten Carly Telford once again. And we're all square.
It's a long ball that's not really been dealt with in terms of the header. She shifts it onto her left foot. Great strike. Can Carly Telford do better? It is a good strike, I have to say. She doesn't seem to get great height in terms of power off the floor there, but there's not taking anything away from that strike.
Beautifully dipping just over the grasp of Carly Telford. And what an evening she's having.
And do you know what's fantastic? The positivity to just get her head up and have a go. She's not worried about who's in goal, who she's playing. She shifts it onto her left foot. Great strike, good goal.
Might be a few heads turned for her. Currently at Slavia Prague. Scored in the Champions League against Hibs in the last 32. Whatever your persuasion, it's been a great game. 4 goals already. Approaching the half-hour mark, and can England strike back once again? The conditions look pretty tough.
Again, another great test of character out there. You know, you've got some leaders out there, Lucy Bronze, Jill Scott, you know, been in the team a long time now. Can they galvanise this team, grab this game by the scruff of the neck, and get a performance and a win? Most importantly, they need a win.
That is the priority, but even if they go on and score, hypothetically, 3, 4, 5, people are going to concentrate on those 2 goals they've conceded. Defending, once again, is at the forefront, isn't it?
It is, and if you're going to keep conceding, you've always got to score more goals than the opposition, so you've got to be very, very good in attack. So they have to tighten up at the back, you know, and make themselves harder to beat and have a little bit more pride in their clean sheet mentality.
Well, it's another change in the back, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and sometimes that shows.
Mead can't quite collect it as she'd like. Stokes with the cross. The corner kick.
I can't remember the last time England had a stable back four. Goalkeeper the same, and even the defensive midfielder. You know, Kira Walsh plays a lot, but the back four and the goalkeeper changes a lot, and you build relationships and understanding, and if it keeps changing, it's very difficult to do that.
Up the other end, see what Lucy Staniforth can do from this corner. Another deep delivery. There's Lucy Bronze, a bit ahead to it. Held by the Czech goalkeeper, Votikova.
Everything being said and done about the defence, though, I still think it was the right decision for Steph Houghton not to play in this game and have a rest. Just for the longevity of her career. The season, Olympics next year, Euros after that.
And it is going to be a quick turnaround. We will expect her to play for Manchester City when they play West Ham at the weekend. Of course, it is the women's football weekend, so do try and get to a game if you can. Being played at some very big stadiums. We've got Liverpool against Everton at Anfield, Spurs against Arsenal at Tottenham Hotspur, Brighton against Birmingham at the Amex, Reading against Bristol City at the Medeski, as well as Casey Stoney's Manchester United taking on one of your former clubs, Chelsea.
Huge weekend for the women's game, and a great advert with, you know, so many top-level games that weekend.
Hopefully the weather will be slightly better than this.
Oh, I hope so.
Stokes back to Williamson.
I think that goal's rocked England a bit, you know. They've lost their confidence to stop playing a little bit in terms of playing through the lines and staying on the ball, rushing their clearances. Just need to settle.
Yeah, he's going to be absolutely delighted, isn't he? He was looking forward to this, he said. Said they're using this as preparation against Spain, which is their next European qualifier. They lost the last one 5-1. It's a bit of a blueprint. Here is Paris. She could use a goal. Pass is picked up by Staskova, dropping very deep from her centre-forward position. Showing good technique as well.
So I can't remember the last time I've seen Nikita Paris face the defender and take them on. So many games now, she passes backwards, goes inside to receive. One of the strengths that she always had playing for Man City was the ability to go 1v1 against defenders.
Mead goes down at a heap, and that was definitely a foul. Is that a lack of confidence, Casey? She was so good for Manchester City last season.
She was brilliant, and I think, you know, she had the confidence to go by people, and I don't know if it's a lack of confidence or whether it's instruction. I don't know, but I think when you're that powerful and you've got that change of pace, when you can shift by people, it takes a defender out of the game, then you can get the ball in the box effectively.
It's going to be another Staniforth delivery, perhaps. Mead will leave it for Staniforth. It's another good one. Well defended initially, and I think Paris and England got in each other's way. Delivered by Bright. And England can't take advantage. Well cleared up by Beth Mead. Staniforth. Tripped. It's going to be another free kick to England. Very good position.
I'm not sure the Czech Republic will want to keep giving away free kicks in these areas.
England work it short. Paris.
I don't understand why they played it short there. They've been causing the Czech Republic all sorts of problems delivering into the box. They ended up playing short, and it ended up with Millie Bright in a wide area on the ball.
Well, if they do score from this is going to be the longest one from the training ground move ever. Stokes delivers eventually, and again she's offside. You can see the Czech Republic were immediately screaming for that. They clearly know and are well versed in what they're doing in that aspect.
Yeah, they seem really well drilled. You know, the minute they think there's an opportunity to step out, they step out, and they're using that offside line very well at the moment.
As evidenced by that. Ten minutes to go until half-time. Make sure you do stay with us at half-time. The best analysis from Sue Smith and Laura Bassett. Also got an interview with Megan Rapinoe. And we'll also be asking Ailey, Laura Bassett and Sue Smith about their best and worst moments of the year from their home nations, and also the breakout star. A few to choose from, especially from the World Cup. Physical challenge. And Martin Kova. England. Intercepts the clearance, Beth England. Stokes.
I think I understand sometimes why the wide players from England come in field, but against a team that want to stay compact, sometimes it's better to give yourself some width, give yourself some room to play in, and open their back four up. Then you can come into those little pockets in field, or you can stay wide, and it creates 1v1s in wide areas. By coming in, all you do is keep their back four connected.
We mentioned England's form coming into this. 1 win in 7, 1 defeat in 7 for the Czech Republic. Of course, they haven't played opposition of the magnitude that England have, but that will give them a lot of confidence. You can clearly see they're not lacking in that, especially the number 17, Shevchikova, who's got 2 goals for the Czech Republic this evening against England. 2 lovely finishes as well. Nice turn from Bertoldova. Flag has stayed down here. Staskova in behind. Not too many options to aim for. She's just running out of play. Let's make a note about Christmas shopping. This is reminding me. It's coming up, isn't it?
The snow, yeah. No, definitely. And I think in these conditions, it is difficult. You know, I'm not saying this is easy for these England players, but they've got to move the ball quicker. Don't drop your intensity and your tempo, because that's what the Czech Republic want you to do. They want you to play slow so they can stay in their mid-block and they can move slowly. You've got to move them quickly so you can open up gaps to play through or play round.
Williamson. Now Kira Walsh. Scott, heavy touch.
It's happened a couple of times in that position with Jill now. She's received it on the half turn and her touch has just been too heavy to get herself turned.
Staniforth, just behind Beth England. She does well to keep possession. Here is Walsh. Bronze towards Jill Scott. Decent effort. That's going to be another corner kick for England.
It's a decent effort by Jill, but I think the goalkeeper's made a meal of that, to be honest. I think I could have run across and caught that. And my players will tell you when I join in, I am terrible in goal.
I just flat out refuse because it's embarrassing. But
I should do the same.
at least you have some height on you, Casey.
Yeah, but you actually have to move. That's the problem.
Standing fourth. That is a definite foul. You could hear that. Vonkova a touch late.
There'll be a sore on that as well. Right on the top of the foot. They are sore, especially when your feet are cold. But like I said, they're not going to just roll over. They're going to give everything they possibly can to get a result. And let's not forget, these players are also playing for a place in their next game against Spain. So they'll be getting in the shop window with their manager and proving that they should be involved in that game.
Standing fourth to Mead. Brights around the back. Well over the bar in the end.
It's a well-worked set piece. You know, they've worked it well. Great ball from Beth Mead. Millie Bright's got herself free. She's just got to get up a bit earlier and get over it.
It is staggering that she's yet to score for England.
She has scored for England, just on the wrong end, unfortunately.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Okay, in the right end.
Yeah, no, I think you know, only time will tell, to be honest, because I think she gets in some good positions on set pieces, and she will get her goal because she is threatening.
She scores a good amount usually for Chelsea over the seasons because she does usually occupy that back post. A threat from set pieces. This is a lovely run by Lucy Vonkova. Here is Staskova. Good defending. Oh, that was a crunching challenge.
Firm but fair, I'd say. Firm but fair, and I think Beth Mead showed a bit of a different side to her game tonight in terms of that. So you know, I'm sure it's something that Phil will be pleased with.
There's been a couple of them, hasn't there, from Beth Mead? Seal of approval from Casey Stoney, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, she certainly got the ball. She may have got a little bit of Staskova as well on her way through, but I don't think the referee saw anything wrong with that. Scored England's second. Her 8th goal in England's shirt on her 25th cap. Staskova looks like she's okay to continue. She's been a real threat. Here is Paris. Now Jill Scott. You'd forgive Scott for perhaps suffering a bit of fatigue. Like Steph Horton, she's used pretty much every single game for her club, and she's been ever-present for England as well.
And I thought in the World Cup, I have to say, I thought she was one of England's best players, most consistent. I thought she was invaluable in that World Cup in the role that she played.
Mead. We can forgive her that one. It looks like the pitch is getting heavier and heavier.
And it's not letting up this weather, is it? So it's going to continue to churn up. It's going to continue to get wetter, heavier, softer, and it's going to tell on those legs.
It is another friendly, of course, so Phil Neville can make quite a few substitutions if he wishes. He hasn't really chosen to do that. I think he's chosen to try and make it as realistic to a qualifier or a game in a tournament as possible by using only 3 usually.
Yeah, I think that's sensible as well. You've got to think about what they're preparing for now. They don't have competitive fixtures, so you need to keep it as real as possible, and that's why I think they take back-to-back games as well, so they get through the recovery processes and that quick turnaround that, you know, he's potentially looking at Olympics next year, obviously, and a Euros. So they want to make it as real as possible in terms of preparation as well.
And you agree with him that they do need a break now from each other. They've played so many games since the World Cup.
Yeah, they have, and I think they had a game very soon after being back in, didn't they? So sometimes it's good because you can come back in, you can review everything in terms of your World Cup prep processes. But these players have had a lot of game, and not a lot of break. So, yeah, they need a mental refresh if nothing else.
Yes, his next squad selection in February for the She Blues will be very interesting, because a lot can happen between now and then.
That's a long time without any contact with your players. You know, it's going to be based on form. Who's playing well, who's not, and like you say, a lot can happen between now and then, so this squad could look very different.
Another opportunity here from the set piece, perhaps their final one before the half-time break. Kira Walsh, you can see that was what she was trying to do. Bronze loses out. Here is Vomkova. Here comes Svitkova. Back to Lucy Martinkova. That's a good run by the fullback Yarkovska. Dispossessed. Beth Mead's had a good half.
Yeah, I think she's done well offensively and defensively for her team today.
There's Beth England. Harris leaves it for Jill Scott. Saved by the goalkeeper. And that is the final action of a first half, which has seen 2 goals apiece. England going behind pretty early on to Teresia Shevyetkova. Beth England with the equaliser. Beth Mead put England ahead. And then it's Shevyetkova with an absolute beauty to draw the game at level once again. Very entertaining first half. At the break it is Czech Republic 2, England 2.
Thanks very much, Robin. Sue Smith, Laura Bassett alongside me in the studio. Like Robin says, entertaining stuff in the snow. Didn't expect that when I saw the pictures coming
You
in.
said it was nice. It
definitely is not nice out there.
Difficult conditions, isn't it, to play in? And I just think, you know, the lack of crowd, it's worlds apart from playing on Saturday at Wembley. So many watching. I know the conditions weren't great there, but yeah, it's difficult to play in.
It's the occasion where you have to build your own momentum.
Yeah.
It's advantageous because you can hear each other. You can communicate. We can hear what they're saying even on the TV. But yeah, you have to create your atmosphere, create your own momentum. Totally different to Saturday.
Yeah, and it was. I mean, I suppose in a way similar to Saturday, not a great start from England. Do you think Czech Republic surprised them a little bit with how direct they were?
I think, well, it surprised us slightly because when we were watching them, they were very much on the front foot. You know, they would press them high and they were actually higher up the field than what we expect them to. You know, first opportunity there. And this is a lovely ball through. And again, it's poor defending from an England perspective to allow that to happen. And you just think if, you know, Staskova could have got that shot on target, it would have certainly caused England problems. This is the goal. So first of all, what a ball through, fantastic ball, and then Shevyetkova, great finish. But again, we have to question England's defence. Millie Bright, Lucy Bronze, both going for the same ball. Millie Bright, that's your player, you deal with her. Lucy Bronze has to deal with the goal scorer. She's got to deal with that overlapping run and go with her. Lovely finish. You know, Carly Telford comes out, tries to narrow the angle down, and it's a good finish, just loops it over Carly Telford's leg. But poor defending, but we have to credit the Czech Republic and how they started.
Yeah, it's no Steph Horton in there, of course, today for England. But, you know, I think Emma Hayes was speaking at the weekend, questioning the defensive qualities of the fullbacks, and Sue mentioned Lucy Bronze there. Is there just a bit of a mismatch, a little bit of miscommunication right now in that back four?
Yeah, and I think also it's individual responsibility. I think there we saw Lucy Bronze. If you've got a player on your outside shoulder and the player on the ball has got time, you have to drop because she's a threat. She's a threat to the back line. And if, like, successfully, if that ball is played through, she's going to have a shot on goal. So I think it's your individual roles and responsibilities. I think maybe, you know, a clip before, Millie tries to cut out the ball instead of tracking the runner. Lucy Bronze maybe goes a step higher to try and cut out the ball rather than giving the ultimate respect to the opposition and doing your job 100% right.
But one thing that Phil Neville wanted was character, and we got reaction very, very quickly from England. A great way to respond.
Yeah, I think Nikita Parris is so dangerous down that right-hand side. We saw a determination to make sure that she gets to that byline, cuts it back, and Beth England shows exactly the type of calibre and the class that she shows in the WSL week in, week out. And that's, you know, what a fine touch that is, just to redirect it into the goal. But all credit to Nikita Parris. It is a heavy touch, but a determination to get that ball back to Beth England is top quality. It's a great link-up between those two.
And that was instinctive, wasn't it, for Beth England, you know, to actually be in that position?
Yeah, definitely. And I think also here, Lucy Staniforth does so well going in to out, makes that run. And I've been impressed with Lucy Staniforth's quality in those moments, just to pick out the weight of pass that she gives Beth Mead. It gives her no problem. And then Beth Mead's such a really cultured finish. She knows exactly what corner, what she's going to do with the ball before she gets it.
Yeah, it's that first confidence, isn't it?
Of course it is, but it's that first touch that just sets her up. You know, she opens her body up and you know exactly where she wants to put it, just curling it into the far corner. Goalkeeper had absolutely no chance. And like you mentioned, Lucy Staniforth, I think she's been excellent. When she's on the ball, there's quality there. You know, you think something's going to happen.
And I think from that moment, it looked like England were going to get in their stride and perhaps see this out comfortably. But then they go into the break 2 each. And are you questioning Carly Telford here in this goal?
I think so, again, because, you know, one of Carly's strengths is her shot stopping. You know, that's what she'll reflect on this and she'll look and she'll say, I think I should have done better. It's not in the top corner. You know, it's quite far out. She's got time to set. There's no deflection on there. So she's got time to set herself. I think she could get that, and I think she'll be disappointed that she didn't.
I think before that, it's a long ball. It's a long, straight ball. Leah Williamson has to be aggressive, and you know, a centre back, you know, prides ourselves on our first contact. So whoever it is, Leah Williamson in that instance, Millie Bright, has to get a good clear so the ball goes back to where it's come from.
Yeah, well, this is 2-2 at half-time in England's final friendly of 2019. But Northern Ireland and Wales are playing a Euro 2021 qualifier in Belfast right now. This is how the table looked before kick-off, with Norway out in front and Wales sitting in second. And the score after 21 minutes is still 0-0. Well, plenty more football on the BBC this week. England's men are in action without Raheem Sterling. On Thursday night, full commentary is on Radio 5 Live. We've got Manchester City against West Ham in the WSL live on the red button on Sunday, with highlights of all the games from the weekend, including Casey's Manchester United against league leaders Chelsea on the Women's Football Show on Sunday. And tonight, Mark Chapman brings you all the best of the NFL. Now, the second half of this game will come very shortly, but first, let's hear from one of the stars of the Women's World Cup, USA winger Megan Rapinoe. She's been speaking to Newsbeat's sports reporter Eleanor Roper.
Do you know how many players would go to the White House?
You trying to be sneaky?
No, I'm not going to the White House. We're not going to be invited. It's a little strange, I think, going through, you know, most of my career and then kind of at the end of it becoming this player, you know, performing the way that I did in the World Cup. It's a little strange, but I'm embracing it and trying to enjoy it and, yeah, just do my part to continue to grow the game. Of course, this last year's World Cup was incredible.
I've got to ask you about the pink hair, because as I understand, it was a bit of a last-minute decision before the World Cup.
Yeah.
Is it here to stay?
I think for a while, yeah. The hair's going to stay for a while. I am enjoying it quite a lot. It sort of takes on its own personality, and it's just kind of a fun way to express myself, I guess.
It's well documented that you're involved in this equal pay dispute with US soccer. What would your message be to other women?
Especially when it comes to sport, there's been such a lack of investment for such a long period of time. So any direct comparison to the men's sports or the men's leagues is just like wholly unfair. So until we have equal investment and over-investment, really, because we've been so underserved for so long, we're not going to have any sort of meaningful conversation about compensation and revenues and TV. I guess for women and other, you know, fields, but certainly in soccer, you're worth more than you think, and we're sort of in it anyways. It's a fact of life for us, so might as well fight like hell.
Some of the stories that have inspired me most this year, Raheem Sterling and Koulibaly. They're incredible performances on the field, but the way that they've taken on the disgusting racism that they have to face this year, but probably for their whole lives.
Imagine if everyone was as outraged and as personally affected by it as, you know, the people who are. Obviously, you can't have that personal experience, but You know, if ever there's like an instance of racism, if every single player on the field is not outraged, then to me they're part of the problem and they're not doing enough. Not only to set the tone for the player that's on your team, I got your back, I'm going to be here with you, but to all of the fans and everybody else is like, this may not personally affect me, but we're not going to accept this. This is not something that's going to be in our games.
In terms of playing, do you hope to be playing at the next World Cup?
I don't know yet. I mean, I've always, you know, said I want to play absolutely as long as I can. I think that's my intention now, to continue to play, and I don't want to cut it too short. You have such a short span in your life to actually have your career, and to leave it behind with something left in the tank just doesn't seem right.
Yeah, well, one of the players off the World Cup talking about her memories of 2019. And seeing as this is the last Lionesses game of the year, I thought we could do the same. So, Sue, let's start with a best moment of 2019.
OK, there's been a few, but I'm going to go with Lucy Bronze's strike when we played Norway in the World Cup. It was just the fact that we completely dominated this game, and I thought we were going to go on and win it from this point, but that was the pick of the goals. An absolute fantastic strike.
You
and the fact
enjoyed it.
that David Beckham, high five, Baroness Sue Campbell, I thought that was just a great reaction, and it was his seal of approval as well, wasn't it? You know, he nodded as if to say, yeah, I've scored some of them myself.
Yeah, he certainly has. Laura, I'm guessing that you're also picking an England moment somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. I think in the semi-final, USA, I think Ellen White's goal, just that we unfortunately went down in that game, but our reaction so soon. Beth Mead's pinpoint left-footed cross gives Ellen White no danger, but she knows exactly what to do in that position, and it got me off my sofa in my living room with pure emotion, just lost myself. But as soon as that was a sign of intention that we were going to be in that game.
Yeah, well, mine actually also involves England, but not for the reasons you might think. It was Scotland's first ever game in a Women's World Cup, and it's been a long time for Scotland fans, football fans, to see any Scotland team in a World Cup. And this was just I just found this a really emotional moment, seeing them all walk out of that tunnel for their first ever appearance in a World Cup finals. And yeah, it was a nice moment. It was a nice moment, and I was in the stand at Nice there, enjoying it all live. But let's flip to the other side. Worst moment. You've both gone for semi-final, understandably.
Yeah, going to the VAR, I'm afraid it's involved. Ellen White's disallowed goal. Again, we find ourselves behind. It was a well-worked flick round the corner. Superb finish as she'd been doing all tournament, and we saw the celebration again. You think you're in it, and it's just a heart-wrenching moment to know that I'm sure it's just a left little finger that's offside, and you know, just a killer.
Well, I could have gone with the Ellen White disallowed goal, or this is the one that I picked, Steph Houghton, the missed penalty. It was just so disappointing. We went toe-to-toe with the world champions. You know how hard Steph Houghton works, how professional she is. So I think I had an emotional attachment to that as well. So both of those were, so disappointing.
Yeah, mine didn't come quite so late in the tournament as yours two did. But, understandably, Argentina, the final goal, being 3-0 up, and suddenly find yourself facing a penalty. And we all thought that Lee Alexander had pulled off the heroics once again, and we're all thinking, that's it, that's fine, it's fine. And VAR, of course, it does create a few emotional roller coasters, the VAR, and on that time it wasn't going the way of Lee Alexander, and that was the goal that ultimately said au revoir World Cup for Scotland, which was a real shame when we thought that we'd got through to that knockout stage. But let's move on to player now, and I think, Sue, you and I have both gone for the same breakthrough player.
We have, yes.
In Rose Lavelle.
Yes.
And obviously part of a winning World Cup team, but for me personally, she just brought something that was just really watchable to that American team.
Yeah, you're right. And I just think when you look at that team, that most of them are household names. I knew that she was a promising star, she had potential, but when I watched her in the World Cup, I just thought she was outstanding. Again, like you said, it gets you off your seat. You know, you want to watch her play, the skills, the tricks. She was excellent.
You've stuck with closer to home, though, haven't you?
Yeah, I did. I've gone with an England breakthrough player in Beth Mead. I think I was shocked to only find out she'd made her debut in April 2018. I think her journey since then has just been sensational. Her form for Arsenal has been tremendous, and then she's brought that into the England team. And we haven't actually got a left footed, left-sided player. And I think she's made that, with Tony Duggan being injured, I think she's made that her own. And her consistency and the crucial assists and goal that she's got so far in her England career is a credit. And I think she's got so much more to give as well, so that's exciting.
And she's scored one tonight to just back you up, hasn't she?
Exactly.
Proving your point exactly.
Very kind of her. But yeah, she can shoot from, we've seen goals from all distances, all over the pitch, and she is just, you know, her technique is one of the best in the women's game. It's just fabulous to watch.
She's just so high in confidence at the moment as well, isn't she? You know, everything that she seems to do, it's with real quality. It's her goals, it's her assists, and yeah, I have to agree with that.
And she's trademarked that cross-come shot,
She has,
goal, hasn't she? Brilliant. Right, well, if you have just joined us, we will be heading back to Czech Republic for the second half very shortly, but this is what you've missed.
Welcome to a very wet and rainy Ceske Budejovice, Staskova, not far away. Could this be 1-0? It is! Paris done well, respect England, 1-1. Lovely touch by Mead, and that's a great goal. Oh, it's another great strike, and we're all square.
Yeah, Czech Republic 2, England 2 at half-time on a snowy night. Czech Republic out on the pitch already, looking like they're trying to warm up out there. So let's get to your commentary team for the second half. Casey Stoney's alongside Robin Cowan.
Thank you, Ailey. Me and Casey Stoney are doing our warm-up as well ahead of this second half. It looks like it's just abated slightly, the snow at least, but still looks very, very cold indeed. Entertaining first half. England need a win though, Casey.
Yeah, definitely. Like you say, entertaining because there's been 4 goals, but I think they'll want to make sure they don't concede any more in the second half, keep that back line nice and tight and go ahead and win the game. It's not important in terms of the fact that it's a friendly, but it's important that they get a win in terms of confidence before the break.
England get this underway. In the white, of course, kicking from left to right. And here is Manchester City's Kira Walsh. To Millie Bright. Lucy Bronze. It's a good ball for Nikita Paris. It's a good start to this second half. It's Jill Scott trying to work the opening. And I think Nikita Paris knew she was offside. The player's gone flying there. And eventually, belatedly, the referee's blown the whistle for a free kick to the home side.
She's taken a few knocks tonight. Staskova being the target, you know, she's backing in, and obviously the referee thought Millie Bright was just a little bit too over physical there.
Phil Neville, no matter what happens, is going to continue to face questions. The England team is under more scrutiny than ever now, especially as we head to that home tournament in a couple of summers' time. Because just like at that game at Wembley, the pressure is on to get a good result and a good performance to keep the crowds coming.
And I think with Phil, he really feels a responsibility to grow the game as well, and he knows that with this team, they can do that. You know, he'll want to put performances on. He'll want this team to win. He'll want the crowds to keep coming back. And I don't think he's under any pressure from the FA. I think he's got full support from them. And obviously he's got a long-term plan in place. But the pressure will keep building if they don't start performing and they don't start winning.
Bronze's pass is cut out. Teresa Shevyetkova, the star of that first half, on the ball now. Katerina Svitkova. Now Lucy Vonkova. It's calmly dealt with by Leah Williamson. Now Kira Walsh. That's a lovely crossfield ball. Beth Mead, England's brightest spark during this game so far. Here's Stokes to deliver over the head of Jill Scott, who just got there but couldn't grow quite enough, even for her, to keep the ball down. Maybe didn't quite get up early enough on that occasion.
Believe it or not, with Jill being so tall, heading isn't actually her strength because she's never had to really time her jump because she's always been so tall.
Paris towards Beth England. We get the power on that header. It is sometimes a bit of a misconception, isn't it, about tall players?
It's all about timing with heading, you know, and Jill's never really had to work on that. She's always out, you know, been taller than everyone else. Yes, she's great as a target in terms of flick-ons, but when it comes to have a time a header, when you've been tall, you actually find that the smaller players are better in the air because they've had to work on it and had to time it to perfection and read the flight of the ball better.
This is the first meeting of these two sides since 2008. 5-1 win for England. I believe you were in that team, Casey.
I was, I remember it well. We didn't actually start the game very well in that game, but, you know, in the end, performed very well, 5 goals, and I remember Kelly Smith getting 2 of them.
Here is Shvechkova. Well marshalled by Lucy Bronze. Somtagova concede the throw-in. There's a couple of goals from Kelly Smith, one from Emily Westwood and Karen Carney, and Jill Scott, who is still very much among the England setup.
She's the last survivor.
She's been going for so long. This is cap number 146 for Jill Scott.
This team will miss Jill Scott the day she decides to hang her boots up, not just because of her work ethic, her ability on the ball and the way she reads the game, but she's an amazing character in that dressing room and she'll be sorely missed. I'm not retiring Jill just yet, but when she does, she will be very much missed.
Lucy Bronze with a robust challenge, another fair one. There's been a few of them. Jill Scott with a flick on to Beth England, who collects it nicely. Nikita Paris caught as she released the ball. That's going to be pulled back for a free kick.
It's just been, again, a sloppy start to this second half in terms of possession and moving the ball quick enough to cause this Czech Republic team a problem. Again, I know it's difficult conditions, but there should be, at this level, the ability to pass to feet and the ability to find your teammate has to be there.
Telford just about finds Demi Stokes. Walsh. You can see the ball not rolling quite as freely as it was at the start of the game. It's like a very heavy pitch, and Beth Mead has taken another knock. She does seem to be one of those most fouled players during any game you watch her in.
Yeah, no, I actually think she's been a bit clever here. She's bought this, if you see it. Unfortunately, there's not a pool in front of her. But she's clever. You know, it's clever play in terms of just buying the free kick, getting England on the front foot again.
There might be soon a little pool. Here is Stokes. Lovely flick by Staniforth. Walsh. It was between Beth England and Nikita Paris. Just trying to get the ball back. Bronze. That's good blink-up play. Bronze gets the cross in. And the corner conceded by Sahinova.
It's better from England, and you see that connection again between Nikita Paris and Lucy Bronze. And Lucy Bronze going by the fullback and putting a cross in, and obviously England winning a corner.
We've had a fair few of these. corners and set pieces in general, England. 2 goals, though, have come from open play. Beth England is trying to draw attention to the fact she's being pushed. The referee's going to have a word with England and the goalkeeper, Budejovice.
Goalkeepers are allowed to do what they want. You mean you touch a goalkeeper, it's a free kick, isn't it? Most protected player on the pitch.
Spoken like a true defender. Staniforth.
It's a great ball, driven in. You know, it's a hard skill that for Beth England in terms of trying to glance it, but it's a great ball. And she's unmarked there inside the box.
Couldn't really direct it, could she, Beth England?
No, she just got too good a contact. Yeah. When it comes in at that pace, you're just trying to redirect it.
Paris. Last goal was from the penalty spot, in fact, and a 3-3 draw against Belgium. Sontegova, the Czech Republic left back. Only her 6th cap today. 18 years old. Quite a few youngsters as well as the more experienced heads in those red shirts. Right. It's a good switch. Mead. A little bit too much on that for England. Ball has fallen kindly here. Svitkova receives it back. And she wants the free kick. It's not forthcoming from the referee. Here's Svitkova once again. Sontegova.
It's a good little spell of possession from the Czech Republic. Nice and patient, ready to build again.
I think that just did flick off Lucy Bronze.
Just looking at the clock, wondering how long as head coach that Phil Neville will leave it before he makes a change, knowing that they want to win. Ultimately, does he need fresh legs on there to give a bit of impact? And does he need to look after any players who have got, you know, club games at the weekend?
Jarkowska. Vonkova being well shepherded by Demi Stokes. Too many touches from Sedlakova. Here come England with Beth Mead. Space to work with, that's a good run. She manages to dig the cross out. Looked like she had overrun that.
It's much better from Beth Mead, you know, 1v1, cutting on the outside and obviously getting a cross in. England just need to get a few more numbers in that box.
Here is Staskova, asking a little bit too much of Teresa Shevchikova, who is on a hat-trick. Williamson. Here is Lucy Staniforth. Now Mead threads it through to Jill Scott. Standing fourth. Not a bad effort. We know she's capable of those long ranges.
Yeah, I think Lucy Staniforth is a very good technician. So if she gets anything around that range, she's gonna hit it. You know, she's scored goals from there throughout her career, so that wouldn't be an anomaly for her.
Three goals already for Birmingham. Got their first win last time out against Liverpool. Have another big game at the weekend at the Amex against Brighton. Well documented turnover of players, Birmingham, this season. They're slowly finding their feet. Still got the likes of Keris Harrop. Characters like that are going to be big for Birmingham this season.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got some experience in that team, some winners that have been to cup finals and know what it is to win games of football. And you know, it's the most competitive WSL that I think we've ever seen. So you know, it's teams can take points off of each other now throughout.
Jill Scott to Beth England. Staniforth delivers. Jill Scott. Oh, deflected in, but it's going to be chalked off. Beth Mead, her celebrations cut short. I think it's going to be given for a foul by Jill Scott on the defender.
Yeah, I think she's given it for climbing. I think Jill might as well have given her a saddle, though. I think it is a foul, just because she's all over her back. It's unfortunate for England because they need that little bit of luck.
Remains 2-2. Mentioning Birmingham and the mass exodus, Aoife Mannion, pretty devastating news for her, on the verge of an England cap. She'd been called up. An ACL injury means that she's not going to be able to play for quite some time now.
Yeah, and do you know what? ACLs are so prevalent in the women's game, and you never ever want to see that happen. You know, she was on fine form. She got her move to Man City, and rightly so, because she was one of Birmingham's best defenders. She's one of the best 1v1 defenders in the WSL. So really unfortunate for her to get that injury at such a cruel time, especially when she'd been called into the England squad. But Aoife's mentality, she'll be back fitter and stronger.
Paris behind the defence here. A couple of England players sliding in. That was a really good opportunity, well created. Scott and Nikita Paris combining.
Again, a great opportunity, but for me, I think England need to take more risks, get more numbers in that box, because they're getting good balls into the box now, but without those numbers, they're not creating a really good, clear goal-scoring opportunity.
Staskova. Sahinova. Svitkova, pursued by Scott. Walsh.
Everything's too slow. We go from one link to the next link. We've got to start bypassing players. If we're going around the back, can we miss out a centre half and get it to the full-back quicker so we can open up those gaps and play? When we go from one link of the chain to the next, it's not even moving the Czech Republic team. You know, we've got to shift it quicker so we can open up gaps to either play through or, like I said, play round them.
Looks like Lauren Hemp is being ready to come on. her third sub appearance for the England senior side. It's nicely laid off by Bronze to Walsh. Nearly perfect for Nikita Paris, but again, the offside flag is up.
Looking forward to seeing Lauren Hemp come on. She's direct, she's quick, she'll go at players. She'll hopefully inject a little bit more tempo and intensity into the England attack.
That is the final action for Nikita Paris. It's a fairly miserable camp, if we're being totally honest. Back with her club Lyon. And let's see if the 19-year-old Lauren Hemp can make the impact. She's a really exciting player.
Yeah, I really like Lauren Hemp. I think she's a great acquisition for Manchester City. She's obviously playing a lot of football there at the moment and doing very well, and I liked her directness. I think she can work back and defend, she can get forward. I think she can go outside on her right foot, inside on her left, and that causes you problems as a defender.
Real star for the England youth teams. Here's England. And that should be a penalty, should it?
Has to be a penalty.
Apparently not. Beth Mead goes down under the challenge. Referee unmoved.
What have you got to do in this game to get a penalty?
Maybe it's the conditions, perhaps.
You can just push someone over in the box.
Von Covert, challenged by Lucy Bronze.
These are the little things that could go England's way that aren't at the moment. It's from behind. It's got to be a penalty. She's not made a single attempt to play the ball there. Although I'm sure I probably got away with a few of them in my career. So.
That was clumsy, wasn't it, from Jarkovska? Beth Mead coming away with the ball here. Finds England. In front of Hemp and behind Staniforth. That's not what the doctor ordered.
Getting in really positive positions in terms of that attacking third, and then it's just technical errors that are giving away the ball. You know, that's a pass under no pressure, played off the pitch.
Sainova gets the ball back. Here is Sedlakova. Jarkovska probably should have given away that penalty. It's nicely worked, but that's a loose ball. Staniforth. And that's unlucky. That was the ball. Beth Mead would have been away.
I wonder if she would have been offside, though, to be fair, because she looked like she'd gone too early. I think the reverse pass was on to the left, because I'm not sure she was ever going to be onside from that pass. I think if she reverses it to Beth England on the left there, I think they've got a better opportunity.
Flag did indeed go up. England have been caught offside a number of times. Bronze into Jill Scott. She's lost it here. Staskova shielded that well. Oh, and that's a really clumsy challenge from Jill Scott. No attempts to atone for her error. She's given away a free kick in a good position from a Czech Republic point of view.
This is dangerous, really dangerous area in these conditions. Could be a really good opportunity for the Czech Republic to get themselves in front. They've already shown that they've got people that can shoot from range.
One of them is the number 10, that is Katarina Svitkova. 17 goals already. It is Svitkova, that's disappointing. Straight into the wall.
I think that killed all the worms on the way through. Oh, that was really disappointing. What a great area. I don't know if she's thinking the wall's going to jump there and she's tried to go underneath them. It was a poor effort.
I think I can translate. No, over. Over the wall. They haven't had many opportunities in this second half. That was a huge one.
Sorry,
Remains 2-all. All the goals scored in that first half. England have created a few more in this second. Here is Hemp. Good burst.
Brilliant play. Brilliant play. 1v1. Checks on the inside, takes her on the outside, creates space. Good early delivery. That's what I mean about she can go inside or outside, so the fullback doesn't know.
And if Beth England was just half a second earlier, that would have been a tap-in. Here's Hemp once again. Finds Walsh. That's a good ball. Staniforth. Doesn't find a white shirt. Svitkova. Bertoldova. Under pressure from Mead, she's done well. Oh, that's a loose pass. And the goalkeeper did ever so well to come off her line. Czech Republic have had 2 very good wins in their European qualifying campaign so far. 7-0 against Moldova, 4-0 against Azerbaijan. That is spilt by the goalkeeper.
She's not been convincing for me tonight, the goalkeeper, and I don't think England have had enough shots on goal. She hasn't, she hasn't done an awful lot in terms of keeping the ball clean. She's spilled a lot, so it might be something in the last 20 minutes that England just look to get a few more shots on goal and follow in, especially in these conditions.
Was well hit by Hemp. England nearly there to tidy up. Staniforth. Walsh. Once again, the flag goes up. And a substitution is going to be made. First one of the evening for the Czech Republic. And it is the scorer of both the goals, Teresa Shevchkova, whose evening is brought to an end. I think she'll be disappointed with that. And
she's definitely played her part, though, isn't she, in terms of what she's contributed to the team tonight.
In her place, Michaela Kirova, 19 years old. This is just her second appearance for the senior side. She made her debut off the bench against Azerbaijan their last game. Don't forget, the men are in Euro 2020 qualifying action. England against Montenegro. Thursday, 7:45 on BBC Radio 5 Live. And then on the Women's Super League, the Red Button game this Sunday, 12:20 we start. Manchester City against West Ham United. And all the highlights from all the games from the WSL and the Women's Football Show. BBC 4 Sunday night at 7 o'clock. And then a repeat on BBC 1, the later time of 11:15. Chance here from the set piece. It is Katarina Svitkova of Slavia Prague.
Let's hope it's a better delivery than the last one.
She's been given another chance, isn't she? Does look better. The flag stayed down. Can only assume the referee's given that for a perhaps handball. That's a good pass in behind Beth England, and the goalkeeper came very far out and it paid off.
She's been quite lively off her line, the goalkeeper, and you've got to give her credit, because England are trying to threaten in behind, with the Czech Republic sometimes holding their line, and she has to protect that space in behind, and she's done it well at times.
Probably a bit cold. A few sprints outside the line.
Definitely keep herself warm.
Here's Scott. Tries to find England. It's well read by Petra Bertoldova.
I'm wondering how long Phil Neville will leave it before he injects a little bit more energy into this team in terms of bringing on some of the people that can have an impact. You know, he's got Jordan Nobbs sitting on the bench, Georgia Stanway, Rachel Daly. You know, they can all come on and add a little bit of energy into this team, because this pitch will be taken out of these players' legs now, and they seem to be, you know, slowing up a little bit in terms of getting above the ball and the energy levels in terms of getting forward.
It looks like he heard you, because it looks like there's a couple of England players ready to come on. Mead. Header by Bertoldova. Lucy Bronze gets there first. Jill Scott challenged just as she was trying to make the return pass. Here's Millie Bright coming forward. It's Bright! Great strike and a good save by the goalkeeper.
It's a good hit from distance. I think you have to credit this Czech Republic team, though, that they are reducing England 2 shots from distance, and I think they've defended their box really well tonight.
Well, that was travelling from Millie Bright, wasn't it? Oh, Rachel Daly was ready to celebrate. Those two are pretty good friends, aren't they?
They are best friends, yeah, she would have been really pleased for her.
If that had been Millie Bright's first goal, that wouldn't have been the way I predicted it coming.
I mean, it would have been a great one. She stepped in and struck it with the left foot, and that's the thing about Millie, she can hit a ball pretty well with both feet.
That wasn't great. Intercepted.
Commentator's curse.
He's got it back though.
This Czech Republic team look like they've blown up a little bit now in terms of their intensities and getting around the ball. Quite happy just to sit in that mid-block, be patient and wait until England give them the ball.
Quarter of an hour remaining. Double substitution for England. Lucy Staniforth is off.
I think Lucy Staniforth can be pleased with her output tonight. I think she's been tidy on the ball. I think she's made forward runs in the right areas, and you know, she's tried to dictate, so I think she's had a good performance.
More minutes for Jordan Nobbs. It's nearly a year to the day since she suffered that ACL injury. And the other substitution, Beth England off for Rachel Daly. Interested to see where everyone lines up now.
I was going to say, is that Rachel Daly going in the number 9 role? Well, she does play for her club at times. Yeah, it is.
She is really a forward, isn't she, for her club?
Yeah, and she scores goals. You know, she's got pace, Rachel, and another player that's both-footed. So she can get in behind and she can take it with both feet. If I'm honest, I'm a bit surprised to see Jill Scott still on the pitch. She's had a lot of football, a lot of minutes. Obviously had full 90 at the weekend.
Another really good strong run from Lauren Hemp, trying to find Jill Scott. Congested. Rachel Daly can't get the shot away.
Again, how positive from Lauren Hemp. Nothing in her head but to beat the defender and get the ball in the box. Fantastic play.
Could have used a bit more of that at Wembley. What about you, Casey? I'm feeling all Christmassy.
I know, it does make you feel like that, the snow, but it also makes me feel cold.
.12 minutes remaining. Can England get the win that they so desperately want? and end 2019 with a victory. Rachel Daly can't take the ball under her spell. Difficult game to come into in these conditions, isn't it? You have to figure out the surface very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the benefit you do have with sitting on the bench is you assess your opposition, you know where the spaces are, you know who the weak links are. But like you say, in these conditions, the biggest adjustment you have to make is your first touch and how the ball runs.
It's another really good ball by Millie Bright. Here's Hemp. Daly. That should have been 3-2, and again, frag is up, I think, against her anyway. Another example of a really good bit of play, though, from the substitute Lauren Hemp.
Yeah, and she is offside there. You know, she's strayed. I think the key to it is moving it quickly in terms of changing the point of the attack, though, and where Millie gets it and switches it to the opposite side, it makes the Czech Republic defence not be able to stay connected, so you can get down the sides of them.
Martinkova. Here's the substitute, Kirova. Goes down, nothing doing. Get on with it, Jordan Nobbs. Oh, it's been nicked off her, Svitkova! Straight at Carly Telford.
It's worth a go in these conditions, it really is.
One of their long-distance strikes did bear fruit earlier on in the first half. They deal with Lauren Hemp on this occasion. Into the final 10 minutes. We've had Barber, Bassett and Smith's best and worst moments of 2019. Stonies?
I think my best actually was on Saturday. 2 moments. One, when the team walked out the tunnel to a crowd of 77,000 fans. I never ever thought I'd see a day like that in my career. And at half-time, seeing all the legends, all the past Lionesses, all the women that did it for the love of the game get their recognition, and it's long overdue, but to see them recognised for their years of service and for the way they paved the way for all of us was an extremely proud moment. I was smiling the entire time they were walking around thinking, at last they get there, thank you. Worst was probably Yeovil dropping out the leagues and showing us that we're still very, very vulnerable within the women's game in terms of the finances, resources and structure. So that was a sad day for me.
We'll ask you your breakout star in just a second. See if it can get the lead back again. It's Mead. It's a teasing delivery and it's wide. Rachel Daly claiming a corner, and she's got it. That's a very good cross, though, from Beth Mead. Mead once again. Maybe the ball just went out of play, perhaps. Lucy Bronze was hurling herself at the back post.
Yeah, it's a shame England haven't had a left footer to take any corners today. With the way the goalkeeper's been handling in these conditions, it might be worth just putting one under the crossbar or onto her and giving her a real test.
Didn't actually hit the crossbar. It's bizarre. Do you have a breakout star off the top of your head?
Yeah, I do. And it's not someone who you would think is a young player, but in terms of breakout, it was her first appearance at a World Cup, and I went for Christiane Endler of Chile, the goalkeeper. I thought she was outstanding. I thought she made some fantastic saves. I thought she really highlighted women's goalkeeping in terms of a positive. And like I said, she's not young, but it was the first time she had had that world stage. So for me, she was definitely a positive for me in that World Cup.
Jordan Nobbs booked. The challenge and possibly the comments to the referee after that.
Yeah, I don't think she agreed with the decision, did she?
I think Endler highlighted a wider point that the goalkeeping in women's football has long been maligned, when it shouldn't be, for the last few years at least. And she highlighted that a number of very good goalkeeping performances wasn't there, and she was one of the very top.
There were some outstanding goalkeeping performances throughout the World Cup, some great saves, and you know, I saw a highlights reel, and some of the saves that were made were incredible. So it showed women's goalkeeping in a really positive light, which, if I'm honest, it comes under a lot of criticism at times. It was great to be able to show it in a positive way.
I think it is getting less and less, and that's certainly helped the World Cup.
Yeah, and listen, it's no coincidence that you've got full-time goalkeeper coaches now. You've got youth players being coached, so it's no coincidence that their level of goalkeeping is improving.
Another substitution, Andrea Staskova, who's been a bit of a thorn in England's side. It's been quieter in this second half since that crunching challenge, actually, from Beth Mead. And in her place, Kamila Dubetsova, 20-year-old from Sassuolo, scored against Azerbaijan, 4-0 win in the qualifying game on Thursday night. Another corner kick for England. I think they're nearly into double figures.
They've got to make something from one of these, though, haven't they? These are good opportunities.
Jordan Nobbs this time. Away by Berteltova. She'll get another opportunity, Nobbs. Once again, it's the same player who defends. It's Leah Williamson. And it's in! Skimmed off the turf, the goalkeeper couldn't handle it. And Williamson has given England the lead, her first senior goal for her country. What a moment.
It wasn't a great delivery from the corner, and it's not a great clearance in terms of the header, but it was going to take something like that to break this Czech Republic defence. And we said, you know, shots from distance might cause them a problem. It takes a big deflection that, you know, unsights the goalkeeper, but she gets a good hand to it. Unfortunately, she can't keep it out, but you know, England will take that, and obviously if they can see it out, a win is really important.
It's just what England needed. Again, they haven't been at their best. It's been a bit of a slog at times, but if they can hold out from here, and they should, there'll be a much needed win. If we're being very critical, it should have been closer, less close against a side like the Czech Republic, but I think we've also seen that even they, a side that have never really, well, I wouldn't say they've never come close to a major tournament. They've reached a couple of playoffs, but certainly a country that England should be beating 10 times out of 10. But they've looked very good in patches.
Yeah, I think they've been resolute, they've been dogged in their defending, they've obviously been very organised, and England have been offside a lot. I think that's credit to sometimes to the Czech Republic back four in terms of stepping out at the right times, but also I'm not sure England have timed their runs very well, you know, throughout this game. And I credit the Czech Republic, but I still don't think there's enough tempo and intensity in terms of this performance, not enough ball speed. They haven't threatened enough. You know, Czech Republic are 28th in the world, so they should not be conceding 2 goals against these, and you know, they should be winning a lot more comfortably.
think England will just be happy to get out of this very cold and wet place and head back to their clubs. And then, yes, not see each other until the next camp after the new year.
Yeah, club focus is a nice distraction sometimes, you know. Different people around you, different environment, probably a little bit less pressure and expectation and eyes on you, which is sometimes a nice break for the players. And they'll go away with a win, and that's the most important thing.
So foul, the free kick to the Czech Republic, committed by Lucy Bronze. Signova, who did win the header.
I think the positives you have to look at is that Beth Mead's got another cap. Beth England's got another cap. Leah Williamson's played back-to-back games at centre-back. So, you know, in terms of that, they're building experience in this team.
Of added time. England should see this one out. Jordan Nobbs. Lauren Hemp. Causing all sorts of problems once again.
Oh, she's so direct, isn't she?
She gets tunnel vision, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's got nothing in her head, but I'm just going to take you on. And I think as a defender, that's very, very hard to play against, especially because she's quick. I have to say, I thought that was a corner, though.
John Nobbs is already on a yellow, so I think she'd do well to maybe not.
Yeah, she might want to
continue to talk to the referee like that. Yep. Here is Nobbs. Loose touch by Bright.
Are you fucking sure? What?
Apologies if you heard Rachel Daly's protestations there.
Been some dubious decisions in this game, and I think players get a little bit frustrated.
Into the final minute.
England just trying to kill the game off with possession now. Make sure they get the win.
It's a good flick on by Scott. Rachel Daly, I think she assumed a teammate was there when they weren't. That's nice play by England. Dubitsova coming away with it. There it is, 2019 draws to a close, and it's a win for England. Not their most convincing once again, but a victory nonetheless, Casey.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you have to take the positives. She scored 3 goals, but there's an awful lot to work on. The good thing is they've got a break now. It gives the staff and the players time to go away, reflect, refresh, and they come back into a She Believes, which is going to be a really, really top tournament in terms of the opposition. So, yeah, lots to work on, but also a great time to refresh themselves mentally.
Be interesting to hear the thoughts of that man, Phil Neville. An up and down 2019. Has finished, though, with a win. Full time. Czech Republic 2, England 3.
Thanks, Robin. Thanks, Casey. We'll try and bring you the thoughts of Phil Neville on the programme. If we can't, then they will be on the website later on. Sue Smith, Laura Bassett alongside me. And Sue, it is a win to end 2019. Is that the performance you wanted to see, though?
Not really. A win's a win, so I think he'll take that. And like Casey mentioned, then they'll go and they'll have a break. Performance was a little bit sloppy. Yes, conditions were poor. And I suppose we can say they showed great resilience to come down or to come back from a goal down. But you shouldn't really be having to do that. You know, they should have dominated that game and it should have been a convincing win.
I think we're now 5th in the world. We're coming off the World Cup with our winning mentality. You know, Czech Republic are ranked 28th. So our winning mentality, our ruthlessness, you know, we should not have got ourselves into the predicament that we did tonight. A couple of highlights with Lauren Hemp coming on, Lucy Staniforth, Beth Mead, glimpses. But again, the consistency wasn't there tonight.
Yeah, it's back-to-back wins on the road. Against Portugal, it was very much a goalkeeping error. The goalkeeper played a part in the winner tonight as well, but not that Leah Williamson will mind her first goal for England. I mean, she'll be delighted.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you know, they got the first touch. Leah Williamson takes a touch, sets herself well, but again, Votikova will be really disappointed with that. It's a goalkeeping error. She should have held that. But again, Leah Williamson does capitalise. She sets herself. It's a clear intention to shoot a goal, and you know, all credit to her. But you know, like you say, are we lucky because it's a clear goalkeeping error? So, Laura mentioned Lucy Staniforth, and I know you were very impressed with her tonight. Yeah. She got her chance because of the performance she had away in Portugal, and again, you know, she's showed that, you know, she should be staking for a claim for a place in this side.
Well, I just think it was an opportunity for her. Like you mentioned, she played well against Portugal, but what I liked, she got herself into good positions, but when she got herself into good positions, she then found that pass. You know, that was a great pass. Yes, a fantastic finish, but it's the composure when she gets there. It's a running off the ball. You know, that shot was a little bit wayward, but again, in a good position. But she finds space just in between, you know, so in between the defence and the midfield, so it's hard to pick her up. Then she gets herself into the box, and this was the disallowed goal. It certainly should have been disallowed for Jill Scott climbing, but again, you know, Lucy Stan involved in the build-up play.
I just think as a teammate, when Lucy stands on the ball, you know quality is coming, so you're more likely to make that run or make the box, make sure, because you just know that she has an aura of class about her that she's going to produce.
We spoke before the match about who might take England's penalty should they get one tonight. They didn't, but I think they maybe should have had one.
Yeah, 100%. It was a clear penalty. Beth Mead, it's a great run, and she knows that she's going to get clattered, and all credit to her. She takes a touch, and that is a stonewall penalty for me.
Yeah, there's absolutely no... She wasn't even attempting to play the ball there, straight into Beth Mead, and then it was the other defender comes in, so she was sandwiched, so I think it could have been a penalty from both sides.
The real negative from Phil Neville's point of view and from England's point of view are the goals that they conceded. And like Casey said at the end of the commentary there, you shouldn't be conceding 2 goals to a team like the Czech Republic.
No, you shouldn't, and it's poor defending. Yes, we can praise the Czech Republic's play, the fact that they started quite high up the field, great ball through, and a lovely finish, but defensively, you've got to take responsibility. And again, this is the second goal. You have to see danger. You know, that's the thing that I'm sure we're not seeing. You've got to close down the ball. So here it's too easy. Yes, Carly Telford will say she should have done better. It's not into the top corner, but close that shot down.
It is a win for England. Phil Neville came into this game with real pressure on him. Does this result alleviate that pressure, or does the performance mean that the pressure perhaps trickles over into next year?
Yeah, I think it'll trickle over to next year, but I think also, you know, Phil Neville will put huge pressure on himself. The players tonight will have put huge pressure on themselves, and I just think that a lot of honest conversations are needed to be had with each other, with the constant feedback, and I think more importantly, players need to review the games, the past 8 games perhaps, and kind of mark themselves on the basics. Have they done the basics well in attack, in defence? And I think we have so much room for improvement, especially in consistently delivering those basics if we are going to be successful at the start of next year.
Yeah, well, let's hear from Phil Neville. Now he's speaking to Tom Gary.
Got the win in the end, but what are your overriding thoughts on the performance?
We got the win. I think that was what I demanded from the team. We've got to say, I think we should be beating Czech Republic by more than 3 goals to 2. We dominated the second half, totally dominated, careless a little bit in possession in terms of the final third, the final pass, the final run, the final cross. But I suppose it's the last game of the year. We wanted to finish on some kind of win. We did that. The players have put an unbelievable effort in these last 12 months. We know the last 3 months haven't been good enough from myself or the team. We know that, we take responsibility for that, but I don't think we should take anything away from the last 12 months in terms of where we've took women's football and where we've took the Lionesses. Now the real hard work begins for myself and for the players in terms of coming back after Christmas when we go to She Believes and to perform to the levels that I believe and they believe we can.
How important do you think that late goal will be in terms of ending the year on a high after the run that you've been on?
Yeah, it's really important. It's just important to win games of football. When I came into the job, I said that winning was the most important thing, and I still believe that. You win games of football. Conditions were difficult. But I think what I'm really looking forward to now is the hard work that now begins in terms of getting us back up to the level that we know we can.
So it was a win to end, like Phil said. That's what he challenged the players to do. But how would you sum up these last 7 games since their return from France?
It's not been good enough. Phil Neville has said that. His players know that. And that's something that has to be improved and has to be addressed. I think you look at the World Cup performance and they set the standards to a certain level. They haven't reached those levels, and you can only call it a World Cup hangover for a certain amount of games. Now it has to be better, and yes, it's a win, but the performance wasn't good enough.
New Year's resolutions for England going into 2020?
I'm biased, but I'm just going to say defending. I think, but also defending with a mentality. I think now we've got such a winning mentality, but we need to produce it. So I mean, being ultra aggressive, being hard to beat, being competitive, and just being a real hard team to play against. And look, that you can't just switch that on and off. But yeah, for me, it'd be clean sheets, being ultra hard to play against.
And I think possession, stop giving the ball away too much. That's something that we have to be better at.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, both of you, for joining me tonight for the final Lionesses game of 2019. Northern Ireland against Wales in a 2021 Euro qualifier is over on the BBC website right now. You can watch that. But from all of us, thanks for watching. England end 2019 with a win just. We'll see you on Sunday as the players get back to WSL action, the Women's Football Show on Sunday with all the roundup from the weekend. But from all of us, bye for now.
It is England's final game of an eventful 2019. Could this be 1-0? It is! Paris done well. Respect England. 1-1. Lovely touch by Mead, and that's a great goal. Oh, it's another great strike. And we're all square. Standing fourth. Not a bad effort. It's Bright. Great strike. Smitkova straight at Carly Telford. And it's in! Czech Republic 2, England 3.